Take a look at Steven Seagal, the Shadow Man. Every minute in this movie is filled with dumb The Cookie Master sits on thrones, nods his head from side to side, proudly boasting his privileges at every turn.
I got a lot of money.
This escort girl watching him having a conversation with ChatGPT.
You're gonna have to get a life, man. You embarrass me. I feel sorry for you. I'm serious.
Not a single soul knows how to handle a gun. Everyone just stands there and waits for the Aikido master to come up close and simply take the weapons from their hands. The filmmakers have lost all sense of shame and boldly show the stunt double right in front of our faces while he performs breathtaking tricks like running 10 meters, conquering the majestic climb of 5 steps, gracefully descending 5 steps, flawless getting into a car. You know, those classic tasks that movie action stars usually can't manage on their own.
Let's get going.
So the film starts with the cameraman struggling to figure out how to adjust the focus on the new 100mm lens. Steven Seagal stands in front of his students and shatters all norms with a mighty Bullshido combo.
So the idea of Dimmak is not to hurt others but to help others.
For those who didn't catch on, Dimmak is a fake technique and it supposedly deals deadly damage to an enemy.
Dimmak can be used to heal people.
You've confused it with the Big Mac. Big Mac possesses miraculous healing properties.
Chi can be used in striking for just external.
Alright, when it comes to external, I've got it covered. I can push immobile folks around even without any help of Big Mac.
Or you can go internal.
Why do we have to tap on a broken watermelon to demonstrate internal chi?
I was very impressed with the way you broke the watermelon.
Can I also see how you broke it? I'm certainly against killing defenseless people, but this guy is practically begging for trouble.
Can you teach me? Can you give me a lesson?
It is all about being strict and fair. You didn't come here to get lessons. You came here so that the Aikido master could satisfy his ego. No, these are proper students, silently tumbling around without asking stupid questions, while Seafood elegantly waves his arms. After beating up his students, Seagal transforms into a puffed Dracula and grants an audience to his daughter. And then, in true fashion, he ventures into a restaurant to chat with his father-in-law, George. It turns out that all 3 of them are going to visit Romania, because Transylvania is quite fitting for this look. So here we have a clear hint at something, and then Steven signals to a cameraman. Steven successfully reaches his destination, fashionably donning, well, this. Oof. At the airport, he promptly loses his passport and enlists his daughter to find it.
Forgot my passport. Come back and help me look for it.
After that, he dumps his hideout's bag onto the poor girl. We all know Steven portrays his complete opposites in movies, so it's fair to assume that in real life he's at least a very good father. And perhaps a good conversationalist as well, because in the movie he simply parrots Harry's lines.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I live here.
Oh, you live here, huh?
After this deep conversation, Amanda goes out of control and jumps into the first available taxi.
Get over here!
Amanda!
A thermos mug in the car where the grandfather is sitting suddenly explodes. Everyone around starts engaging in random chaotic motion, while the Cookie Master decides that he is now CJ and goes with a real-life GTA.
You're gonna have to walk now, sucker.
Where we going, homie? Rolling Heights, Ballers Country. Do us a little drive-by, huh? You know something, matter of fact, you are chauffeur for this little gig. Come on.
G, thanks, G.
Just don't drive like no fool.
They effortlessly narrow the distance between them and the taxi driver lady through the tight alleys, despite her having a few minutes head start and being a local driver knowing the city much better. Out of nowhere, random bikers pop up and pull off impressive tricks. Meanwhile, the action star sits in front of a low-quality backdrop screen, making funny faces. Clearly there is something amazing going on, but since the cameraman can't keep up the camera steady, it's impossible to see anything properly.
We lost him.
You can still try to catch up with her. Last time she had a much bigger advantage and you managed to handle it. However, Steven is too tired to sit in a car any longer. It's time to have a seat on a comfortable chair.
Hey, Harry. Where's my daughter?
You think I know?
Why are you saying that?
What? I didn't understand the thing.
Why are you saying that?
Well, you did. You've just accused him of being the part of the plot to kidnap your daughter. Not that there weren't reasons for that, of course. Firstly, Harry was in contact with the kidnapper before arrival of Seafood. Secondly, he had already kidnapped Steven's daughter 3 years ago in Belly of the Beast.
And, well, so you kidnapped my daughter. I haven't seen you in, 7, 8 years now, and, you know what I'm thinking?
A strip club where dancers serve cookie burgers.
Crumbled up cookie things.
And despite the fact that Mr. Inside clearly doesn't trust his friend, he calmly sips whiskey in his place and even allows himself to be locked in a room with bricked-up windows.
He's yours.
And you know, blackout curtains usually do a much better job of solving the sun-facing side issue. Now Steven is furious because he lacks enough light to appreciate his reflection in the mirror. He's making an effort to create a brighter lamp out of makeshift junk, but let's be real. Most likely dancing in front of the mirror will have to be done in the dark. The neighbors turn to blasting loud music, and one of them promptly falls victim to the outdated wiring. After dealing with the neighbors, the Great One teleports behind Harry. This guy was clearly aware of the attack to the locked room. Therefore, Steven forces him to reveal information that he already knows, of course.
You're familiar with the MK Ultra program, right?
Very familiar with the known pros.
People die within 6 months to a year.
And it's untraceable. So what does this have to do with my daughter?
Are you too tired to properly say, so what does it have to do with my daughter?
So what does that have to do?
That's how far it has gone. So it turns out that everything revolves around a secret formula for a crabby poison. The grandpa struck a deal with the KGB, CIA and whoever else he made arrangements with to safely hand it over to them at the airport. But as it turns out, the guys from these agencies ended up being dumber than plankton. Rather than acquiring the necessary formula and peacefully crafting the most delicious crabby poison, they chose to blow the grandpa to hell. And now, for some reason, they believe that Steven has inherited the formula, so now they want to kill him as well. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Sounds like a solid plan.
You got 2 hours to find my daughter. 2 hours.
Steven relies on Harry to locate his daughter, since he doesn't have time for this nonsense, brothels won't find themselves, you know. Harry, of course, isn't bothered about the daughter as well. He'd rather have a drink of whiskey with the United States ambassador and her friends. First, Steven walks the city streets with the grandiosity of a peacock, but it doesn't bring any results. Therefore, the best option is to take a taxi. A proven way to search for ladies of the night in an unfamiliar city. And don't ask me how I know this. But to Seafood's surprise, instead of a brothel, the taxi driver brings him to a police station.
This is Anya. She's a taxi driver. All taxi drivers work for the police.
Excuse me. Why am I here?
Is he hinting that they got Steven to the right place after all? Unhappy with the limited option of girls, Steven starts causing a scene at the police station. Steven arrives at some empty palace, well, at least windows aren't bricked up, which is a good start. And I'm a bit confused here. Has full communism been established in Romania? Private property abolished? Nobody locks up palaces? Just come in and leave? And that's when my breath was taken away. Out of nowhere, the great guru, independently, climbs a few steps on the staircase all by himself, without any support of a stunt double. Yes, this guy with the fabulous mane helped him reach the stairs, but after that, Steven took charge.
Uh-oh. Here comes trouble.
Boom!
The US agents also make their way to the palace, and it's evident that Harry knows Steven well.
Motherfucker never does what he says he's gonna do.
Yeah, and he hasn't done most of the things he claims he has done. This is it. This is the true face of communism. You don't lock the doors of the palace, and immediately there are a bunch of morons playing war games in there. Meanwhile, in her hideout, taxi driver Lady Anya tries to deceive Shadow Man's daughter.
Why did you kidnap me?
I didn't kidnap you.
Okay, you teen-napped her. Using tearful tales, she aims to trigger Stockholm Syndrome in the young captive.
They managed to get hold of my husband and my daughter, and that was the last time I saw them. Their bodies were found a year later.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Afterwards, Anya sets off on important matters, to have a wild night at a nightclub. Not for long, she'll be back in the morning, but for now Amanda can be kept safe under the reliable protection of this young man.
I want you to take me someplace where I can find some drugs and some women.
The seafood is aware that all taxi drivers work for the police, but he is already desperate.
Oh, I am desperate.
The night is falling, and he hasn't come across any shady establishment. Everything around is filled with nothing but grand palaces in every direction. And how, for example, can one distinguish whether there is an exhibition of world-class artworks in this building or someone selling drugs there?
What do you need?
Let's start with the chair.
I wanted a party.
These guys look like experts in having a great time. But hey, why bother with all this talk when just in 10 seconds Steven wipes out everyone in the room and snatches birthday from the lady who happened to conveniently counting money in the next open room. Oh, strict, but fair. Let he who has never wished to do the same to Karen at least once throw a cookie at me.
I'm looking for a girl. She drives a blue Mercedes. Any ideas?
Da! It's common knowledge among Bucharest taxi drivers to know the precise location of any other taxi driver at any given moment.
So why don't you take me to her right away?
So where does he take seafood? Here! Did you really think that seafood would be left without a party tonight?
I'm generous. I'm gonna give you all of this. Go buy your mama a condominium.
Are those $1 bills over there? Steven, where are you going? You still have to pay this guy about $5. Upset that he was cheated out of $5, the taxi driver dials his employer, the police chief. And shame on the security guard who allowed the chubby penguin to pass face control to this children's party. Because his first move is to knock out the bartender for not knowing who Anya is and where she might be.
There's a female taxi driver. Her name is Anya. You ever heard of her? No.
And right after that, he sneaks into the woman's restroom. And what a surprise, there she is.
If I help you find her, you've got to get me a passport and you've got to get me to America.
The plan is of course flawlessly brilliant, but America already has its fair share of idiots. So now the plan has to be changed.
You're gonna have to tell me what I want to know. If not, I'll kill you.
You wouldn't do that.
I would.
No, you won't. Otherwise the only chance of finding the daughter will be hope to stumble upon her in a random women's toilet. At the last moment, Steven is interrupted with some guys from KGB who appeared out of nowhere. They also want to choke someone in an empty bar of a crowded venue.
We'll go to my place.
Now, for some reason, he and Anya have become close friends. But why is Seafood the one driving the taxi? He doesn't even know where to go.
You say you're gonna give me my daughter back, but wouldn't it be better for you if you just tried to give her up to the bad guys?
They're not going to give me what I need, what I want.
Like, do you really mean a United States passport? Just for you to know, Steven wouldn't be any help with that either. All he can do is mumble something incoherent.
Well, as long as I get her back, I really guess I'll let you do it.
Well, there is a bit of mess at Anna's place. Back when I was 20 and brought girls home, it would sometimes be even worse. But there's also a police lady in the toilet, so yeah. And why indeed they would squeeze into a tiny apartment when they have at their disposal any palace in Bucharest?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa. King in the castle, king in the castle. Have a chair, I have a chair.
You don't look too happy.
Well, I'll be more happy when I get my daughter back.
If only there was someone in this room who would help him. Anyone, even just the one person. And while Steven watches flashbacks, Anya walking in front of him wearing just a bra, someone effortlessly locates hidden daughter. And by someone, I mean everyone, except the Cookie Master. He's the only one who can't wake up earlier to set her free. The CIA guys easily take Amanda from her hideout. The police set up a trap for Seagal. The action hero himself shows up at the location only after a trip to the shopping mall for a makeover. His suitcases exploded with the father-in-law. But you can't go around wearing the same jacket for 2 days in a row like a complete idiot.
Give me the item, or you never see your daughter again.
Ooh, that's not an easy situation. You can't just brush it off so easily. Something needs to be... That's it? Okay. Alright, now the Great One is taking his seat on the throne, as usual. In the palace, Anya didn't get a chair, she can manage standing, using the same inspiration that drives the action of every character in this movie. Steven somehow discovers a bead inside the stylus of his pocket computer and claims that the secret formula for crabby poison is hidden within it. Right at this moment, a brilliant plan begins to form in his genius mind. So Anya calls to the main KGB villain and informs him that Steven will be in the library at the specific time. The Aikido Master teleports to the office of the United States ambassador and through hints and deception conveys to the CIA the same location and time. Any questions?
You just said if they get it, then people will die.
Do you really think he cares about any people? Does it look like it?
And life is all about exchange.
Yes, that's also true. Life is... But my main concern is, at what point does the daughter come back? That's why we are all here, right? Someone has kidnapped the daughter.
Are you sure you want to come? I think it's just dangerous, and I want to make sure you want to come.
I want to be there.
But as soon as Anya and Stunt Double step out of the palace, they come under attack from a helicopter. Who? Why? How do you plan to find the bead with the secret formula on the lifeless body afterwards? And wouldn't it have been easier to send a capture team right away, since you already know where the couple has stayed? Especially considering that helicopter is useless and falls apart from just a few pistol shots. The Seagal, Stunt Double and Anya arrives at the library, where both KGB guys and US agents have already gathered. The agents bring the daughter out in the open in the reading room.
I would like my daughter down here.
Cut the cockroach, Steven. Anya is already standing guard upstairs, and as we already know, you don't mind shooting at people who use your loved ones as living shields. It is very effective when it comes to hostage rescue, and most importantly, it is completely safe.
Plan B!
Steven heads to the nearby room, where he faces yet another boss.
No matter how good you are with the pistol, you can get us both.
These guys start shooting at each other right away. And at the exit, to our complete surprise, Grandpa George awaits us. Apparently he has reformed from droplets like P-1000 after explosion at the beginning of the movie. It turns out that George used our guru as an unintentional courier. Out of all the possible options, this one turned out the most reliable and safe.
Brilliant strategy, but that kind of manipulation makes me very angry.
George, Steven is all set up for a wedding dance. It's about time to shoot. Well, Father of the Year, now you will have to explain to your daughter why you had to practice the watermelon strike on her grandfather, because he wanted to take back his own bead from you. Steven, like a Santa Claus, gives Anya a passport, to Amanda a horse. Steven is happy.